Rolls Royce is a name that I keep seeing pop up when people are looking to invest. Being a major brand and top of its field in many cases, but with the share price trading at around 3/4 the price it was a year ago, I can see why. It does look good value on the surface. But how does it hold up if we dig a little deeper? And what's in store for the share price for the future? This video has taken a lot longer than planned to make due to me getting some fluey thing that just won't shift. Sorry if I still sound a little ropey today, but if I wait any longer, it'll be at least another week until I can record again. Thanks for bearing with me though. I'll say from the outset that I own shares in Rolls Royce, just to be transparent. There have been many times this year when I've nearly bought more shares, but thought better of it, as my finger's been hovering over the buy button. I've then regretted that decision and found myself in the same situation a few days later. Having seen some of the articles written about Rolls Royce, it doesn't sound like I'm the only one who feels this way. I can see why there's so much conversation about Rolls Royce. They have the potential to see their revenues rocket in the right global circumstances, but at the same time they could see revenues crushed under different circumstances. And fundamentally, that is the same for any business, but I think the way that Rolls Royce are looking to the future, should we see any more global situations, I don't think they'd be hit as badly as they were in 2020. Before the pandemic, the majority of Rolls Royce's revenue came from servicing their engines that were fitted to airliners. As these were grounded through 2020, it meant their revenue was slashed and the share price tanked. As the world opened up though, RR's share price didn't bounce back. The fear was they had amassed a large debt and were struggling to build the revenue needed to pay it back. Yeah, planes were back in the sky again, and the world was slowly opening up, but with purse strings already tightened from the pandemic, there was a new word on the horizon: recession. That isn't the kind of word that makes you want to go on booking.com and search for week-long 5-star hotel breaks in Tunisia. So the fear was that the company was in real trouble, but Rolls Royce are not a one-trick pony. With the world being on the brink of World War III for nearly a year now, defence spending has been increasing and looks set to do so for the foreseeable future, and this is something I can't see winding down soon. Even if things settle down, and I hope they do for everyone's sake, but after large conflicts we tend to see countries on a much higher alert for years after, and that means increased military budget. Increased weapon stockpiles we need replacing and maintaining. This means potential expanded servicing contracts for Rolls Royce. We've also seen with the energy crisis the recommendation of cheap, reliable renewables or alternatives, and that is another pie that Rolls Royce has their finger in with their small modular reactors, or SMRs. Recently securing a contract with the government worth a reported £450 million, the SMRs are reported to pump out enough wattage to power 1.3 million homes at a cost of roughly £2 billion each, compared to Hinkley Point, which is currently over budget at £23 billion. They're looking like the smarter choice. So they have quite a few bases covered for future revenue. Something they also have is reputation and legacy, and this is something that will play massively in their favour when fighting for contracts. They have a great track record for being able to manufacture and implement cutting-edge technology. One of the reasons the Rolls-Royce share price has stayed lower than an agoraphobic mole for the last few years has been that their revenue mostly came from servicing their engines, as we looked at earlier. Moving forward, we've seen some countries like China for instance are still locking down, and I think there is some fear that further lockdowns and subsequent air travel restrictions could heavily tank the share price again. If we look at the price to earnings as a result of previous lockdowns for the end of year between 2020 and 2021, you can see why investors were spooked. Moving forward though, Rolls Royce seems to be securing contracts in other areas too, which should minimise the chances of that being a recurring problem. If the planet is in the position where there are no planes flying, no wars are happening, and no energy is needed, then either something wonderful has happened, or something pretty bad. Either way, the stock market will probably be the least of our worries. We've looked at the good and the bad, now let's take a look at the ugly. The main problem is debt. Around £5 billion still left of it. This has made a lot of investors cautious too, and understandably. Debt is coming down though, but that debt comes with conditions. One notable one is that it means dividends are suspended until at least 2023. But the way the company is turning around, I think there is potential for dividend payments to be resumed maybe from next year. Another big problem is that the deadline for some of this debt is on the horizon now. The next big one to pay is £500 million in 2024. The risk here is that enough capital can't be raised to service that debt and still have enough to service future projects that will secure the future of the company. With interest rates soaring, I think the worry is that any future loans will see vastly greater repayments due to the higher interest rates. Rolls Royce have raised capital to service some of their debt, They've done this through the sale of ITP Aero to the tune of £1.4 billion, and also laying off 9,000 staff since the start of the pandemic. This to me shows they are serious about clearing that debt. With all this laid bare, I think they still have the potential to fail or fly. They are a company that are exposed to large global issues, but I think they are diversifying well to negate these issues. I genuinely hope they fly. I think they're a fantastic, innovative company that really align with my values, and that is why I invested them in the first place. They're clearly looking to the future, and when you invest in a company, essentially you're buying a piece of their future. For me, I may snap up some more all the time they're trading below £1, but I do have other shares I'm keeping my eye on. So how do you feel about Rolls Royce? Do you think the future is bright, or are they just too risky for you still? That's it for today. I'm off to slather my Rudolph nose in E45 cream. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for future content. Stay safe out there. Peace.